For most of my life, fitness has been a struggle for me. But just a few years ago, I discovered a very specific set of things that have completely simplified it for me and allowed me to achieve the best body I've ever had in my life. And once I discovered these things, it became so easy for me that anytime I've ever fallen off track and lost my fitness, I've been able to implement this system. And within just a few days, sometimes, like I have my six pack back and I have my fitness back, and I feel completely fucking dialed in and locked in. And I want to share that system with you today in this video. So if you can give me a few minutes of your time, I'll give you the system that I used to go from skinny fat to 13.6% body fat and an aesthetic physique in less than 30 days. And the beautiful thing is, this is such an easy system that anyone should be able to do it, and it's going to make fitness so much easier for you forever. Okay? Now, if you're wondering who I am, for most of my life, I was skinny fat. I wasn't fat. I just knew that I didn't look good without a shirt. And I weighed like 145 to 150 pounds. I just really didn't have much muscle on my frame, and I had too much fat, and I never knew which direction to go. I would always be like, should I bulk or should I cut? I had conflicting advice. I thought the secret was in some men's health magazine, and I could not find the answer of exactly what I needed to do to get fit. But if you want to build an aesthetic physique and you feel like being skinny fat is your problem, I'm telling you, this system will change your life. You follow these simple habits, you're going to achieve a six-pack and visible abs within just a very short time, okay? So tip number one is that this is the most obvious thing, but you really have to know where you are with your body, okay? And this was my problem for so many years. I never knew my exact body fat percentage. I used to even work at gyms. Like, I worked at gyms and I got these body fat caliper tests done by certified trainers, and they had told me that I was as low as 8% body fat. And I took another one when I was like at LA Fitness, and I just held this thing and it said that I was 12% body fat. But then I would look at these pictures of 8 to 12% body fat people, and I was like nothing like them. I looked nothing like them. And I was like, there's something wrong. Like, something's not clicking here. And then one day I was lifting with my neighbor, and he said something that changed my life. He said he was going to get a DEXA scan. And I was like, dude, I completely forgot that that was a thing. I forgot that you could get a complete body scan and know exactly what body fat percentage you are. And that was my problem. I just didn't know it, that I did not have clarity on which direction I should go. If I tried to bulk, it seemed like I just got fat. And when I tried to cut, it seemed like I wasn't getting the results I wanted. So I got my DEXA scan, and it told me that I was 16.3% body fat. And I instantly had clarity on what I needed to do. I just needed to get my body fat lower, and then I would get the result that I wanted, which was getting a six-pack. And I'd wanted this for 20 years since I worked at Abercrombie in college. And after that, and I would always see these models, and they had chiseled abs, and I thought I was close, but never could figure out even, I was actually really far away and didn't even know it. And even if you know your body fat percentage, it's not going to help you unless you can implement the correct system to do it. So that's where tip number 2 comes in. And I know that you've heard this before, but calorie tracking is crucial. Like, I felt like once I started doing the calorie tracking aspect, I was like, oh, I forgot, like, calorie tracking is so obvious that, like, if you don't do it, then you can't be really upset that you're not achieving fitness goals. And like, the only time I'd ever done it before, I was in the best shape of my life before that, when I was like in my early 20s, and I would eat basically the same things almost every day and track my calories on a piece of notebook paper. And surprise, surprise, whenever I did that, I was actually losing weight, and I had probably the best abs I had ever had up to that point. But I realized quickly whenever I started calorie tracking again that that was the missing link between actually getting lean and just going in circles trying to achieve my goal. Even though you know your body fat percentage and your calorie tracking, the thing that really I felt like elevated my progress the most was high intensity interval training. I would do HIIT workouts Monday and Friday, and then I would lift on Tuesday through Thursday. But I really feel like the HIIT was the thing that was really getting me cut. because before that I had always tried cardio, I tried running, I tried lifting, but like nothing has ever worked for me like HIIT. And every time I ever fall off and like, you know, my habits go bad for a few weeks and I like don't like the way I look, I'm like, all right, like let's go. And implement this program, do the HIIT, and then I always get my six pack back within a very short time. Sometimes it's been like 2 or 3 days. And so I'm like, dude, this was so hard for me for so long, but once I just figured this out, like it became so easy. And then tip number 4 and 5, like you can do it this way if you want, but the first one is to get up at 5 a.m. And this was really beneficial for me because I would get up and I would get my workouts done first thing in the morning. And I felt like I was actually achieving a lot of progress by doing this. And I would also just feel like powerful because I did something hard that morning. I got up at 5 a.m. and then I did something hard as well. I got my workout in. And so like me doing these things like put me in this like powerful mindset. And what made it even more powerful was tip number 5 was not drinking. And like drinking to me, like there's an inverse correlation between how cut you are and how much you drink. Like the less you drink, the better you look. And like this has been a thing for me for a while. Like I'm not going to say that I don't drink ever and that I'll never drink because I still enjoy alcohol. Sometimes I'll go like 2 weeks where I'll drink almost every night. And I was drinking like Topo Chico margaritas because I was like, oh, these are 100 calories and I'm still like losing weight and getting more lean. But after like 2 weeks of that, I was like, okay, like it's really starting to catch up with me. Like I can't do this anymore. I was getting by for the first few days, but it really just makes your body look flabby. Not to mention all the like negative food choices you can make if you drink too much. What really helps me is drinking non-alcoholic beer. So I drink like Budweiser Zero, Peroni Zero, Stella Zero, Heineken Zero. All those are very solid choices, and each one's like 50 to 100 calories each. But just having one, I feel like at the end of a long day, sometimes you just want a fucking beer. And like just having that is like a good balance between not drinking and drinking, because you're like, all right, like this is some calories, but it still gives me a little bit of that mental, like it's like a mental thing, you know? It's just something to do, you know what I mean? And these 5 things, like once I did this and implemented this system, I went to go get a DEXA scan 30 days later after implementing these 5 steps that I did. And within the less than 30 days, I already had that 6-pack, and I got my DEXA scan and it said that I was at 13.6% body fat. And I know that's like not super, super low, but the guy was like, dude, that was a damn good cut. You lost 5 pounds of fat and 1 pound of muscle in a month. And like, you shouldn't lose any more fat, because if you get less than 20 pounds of fat on your body, like it's not good for health reasons. So if you want to drop your body fat percentage, put on more muscle. I was like, hey, I wanted to be in the 12s, but the fact that I got my 6-pack, and if I need to be at 13.6 to have it, then that's fine. And I'm still working on getting my body fat percentage lower, but I do feel like putting on muscle is much harder than losing fat, in my opinion. That's just me. So if you're in a position like I was, where you're skinny fat and you're just like, I don't know what system to do to lose weight, and you just want a simple system that you can follow, even if you just have 1 hour a week, you could do 3 20-minute HIIT sessions per week. And I still think if you do all the other steps, you're going to see a big difference in your body over time. And it might take a month, it might take 2, 3, 4 months, depending on how much body fat you have that you want to lose. But I would say realistically, you could expect to lose 3 to 5 pounds, maybe even more of body fat per month from doing this system. And then you just have to figure out how many pounds is it going to take. So I would highly, highly recommend taking progress pictures, because if you don't do that, you're probably going to forget and not realize how much progress you've actually made. And then you might quit because you don't think you're making progress. But really, if you had just taken a picture of yourself a month or 2 before, you'd have been like, damn, I thought I looked good there, but I'm actually looking way better now. And that gives you motivation to continue. And if you want this full guide, I'll give you the exact HIIT workouts that I did, because I really think these made a big difference in how fast I got ripped. And I don't even want to call myself ripped. Like, this sounds too much. Like, I would just say lean. You can have the whole guide for way less than what it would cost to get a fitness coach. Like, I don't think I really want to do fitness coaching. I just want to sell this digital product. And if I sell it a certain amount of times, like my life has changed. And I also have a community. Check it out if you want. But it's literally, the point of the community is you would get all the stuff with a fitness course, but you would have accountability in the community. And there's all these other things. It's just basically a way for men to stay connected and to like have a support system and to help each other improve. So it's super cheap. And if that's something you want to look at, then go for it too. But if you do not want to spend any money whatsoever, I completely get that. You can have my PDF of the top 10 power foods that I've created. That's basically, if you just eat these 10 foods and you stop eating when you're full, your body will start to change. You don't have to eat them all the time, but like what I do is I'll eat one meal that's super healthy for the day, and then I'll eat a good healthy snack, and then for dinner I'll just have whatever my family's having. And like we just went to the zoo and I ate 1.5 chicken strips and some fries with some like honey mustard and ketchup. And I was like, this is a terrible like health food choice, but I'm like, hey, you got to roll with it sometimes. If you're a family man like me, like you just got to eat. Like, and the chicken strips were actually fucking fire. And they were the best chicken strips I've had in a long, long time. And the fries were good too. And it's like the fact that like you shouldn't try to be perfect. Like just live in balance. Like you want to be going in the right direction, but like you also don't want to be so like, that's one thing I struggle with content is like, I'm like, okay, like if I'm not perfect, then like, should I even post? And like, I have to like coach myself out of that mindset, because it's just like, man, like life is so much more than trying to make all these perfect optimized choices all the time. Like if you're a family man, you can completely understand that. So it's all about just like living in balance, enjoying the moment, trying to make progress, but also trying to be present too. So yeah, if you vibe with this video, I genuinely appreciate it if you're still here. I'm fucking rambling like crazy, but I've tried to do all the scripting videos and they just perform like shit. So I just decided to start doing more off the cuff and just rolling with it. So if you vibe with this, I genuinely appreciate you being here. Any kind of comment you want to leave, good or bad, that's great too. And if you want to watch another video, YouTube's going to show you one right here. Have a beautiful day.